Hey there, kids! It is Wu-Tang Wednesday. What's going on? Sponsored by Wu-Tang Clan. What's going on, kiddos? As I try to clean off the 1, 2, 3 block of schmutz. Geo, he says hello, everyone. Hello, Geo. How are you? Alright, so... we're back. We got 2 today. 2 with the woo. There we go. Alright, so we're going to continue working on the arm here today to duplicate those parts and everything. Did I clean this? Shit. No, I didn't clean this up yet. Alright, well, we're going to have to do that. Let's get to it, but before we do, just remember to buy... because they're good. They're really good. So, alright, kiddos, let's go camera 2. There we go. There we go. Alright, here we are. So, continuing work on the arm unit here. Yesterday we got the details for the hand and the cuff all duplicated. Those are done and out of the way. Now we're on to this section here, the forearm. Now, excuse me. We need to clean up some of these pre-molded details in here because it looks like I forgot to do that. So we're gonna do that. That'll be step 2 in today's process. First and foremost, though, we are going to duplicate the little this little inset detail right there, that little mold unit. Let's see. Geo says, since I had a full day of work yesterday, I was able to top coat the pieces I painted on Monday. Today I'll panel line and start with water slides. Geo, may I ask which water slides you're using, sir? Are you using... because if not, you should be. And that's 2 in the span of a few minutes. What's going on? Mr. Apex Nerd is over there. Pip pip. Jolly good. Jolly old England. What's going on, buddy? You're a unit. Bailey. No, I'm not the unit. You're the unit. Anyway. Alright, so let me... was it this one? I think it was, yeah, probably that one that we used for this. So, all right, let's get it going. Maybe somebody with more knowledge on the Shiki can help explain what this is. I mean, I think it's like a gun or something, like a cannon or something like that. I don't know. It's been years since I watched Zeta. Years. So I don't remember, honestly. I think it might be, but why didn't Bandai do something other than just a plain rod? It doesn't make any damn sense. Let's see. Pandemonious. Good morning, good sir. And chat. Corrected. Spell check, probably. I don't know. Excuse me. So, what's going on, bud? Good to see you. Geo says, I used them for the Master Grade gun cannon, but for the real grade V Gundam, I bought water slides from Delphi Decals. It has 2 sheets. Boo! 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 It's fine, Gio, whatever. You know, I'll get over it. It's fine. Bailey says, I think it was the gummy stuff to seal leaks. Colony breaches. Colony breaches. Let's go. All right. So, yeah, so this is just, I don't know, like a flat bar. It's just weird, right? I don't get it, but we're going to make something out of it. We're going to do something with it here. So we need to get it flat first. So we're just going to take our hobby knife and just kind of shave off a little hunk of it here, just to get that nice and flat. There we go. Good deal. And then we're using this runner from the Kotobu Kia option parts. That's P114 for those of you playing at home. And this we're using the little itty bitty guys here. We're using these kind of molds, those zero mold looking deals. That's 1.5 millimeters in diameter, for everybody keeping track, because I know you are. So, all right, clip this out ever so carefully. Yeah, that one's fine. I'll deal with it ever so carefully. Ooh. Yeah, look at that. That's a teeny tiny guy right there. That's a teeny tiny one. All right, let's go super zoom for this, because it needs it. Really? Pandemonia says, you are correct, Cam. It's the slimy stuff to seal breaches that comes out of that. Huh, I didn't know that. Well, that's interesting. I thought Bailey was fucking with me or something, like kidding and stuff, but I guess not. Shit, sorry, B. Damn. My bad. Okay. Alright. So, yeah, it's been, God, forever since I've seen Zeta. Probably have to go back and rewatch it at some point, but that's an investment. That's 50 fiscal episodes. Like, y'all don't know how much time that I don't have. Like, I work more now being unemployed than I did having a job. Crazy. All right. There we go. Excuse me. All right. So we're going to get our friend Plastic Magic involved here, because it needs to be this needs to be welded on to this plastic rod here in this thing. Okay. Just get that centered right there. That looks good. Press that down. We got a little squeeze out coming out. That's good. That's good. All right. So I'm happy with that. Put that off to the side. Let's get this guy on here to make sure. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. That's looking right. That's looking right. Let me get the little hand on there. There we are. Yeah. That is looking quite nice. Quite nice. All right. So we need to clean this guy up here right quick. Yeah. Let's see. We've got a few other people checking in. We got Kelvin. What's going on, Kelvin? Good to see you, man. Kelvin, I checked out that website that you sent me yesterday, and I'll tell you what, man, that website is pretty incredible. So yesterday, Kelvin sent me a link to a website, and it is called, where is it here? RB Motion Shop, right? And so basically what this guy does, it's just one dude, and he makes these extremely tiny detail parts for like model cars and things like that. And he machines these things, I guess, by hand, each one. And it's really actually pretty damned incredible, because if you remember, probably a few days ago at this point, I think it was maybe Friday night stream, I showed you, this guy right here, and a few of the other of his compatriots here. This is just a, little round mold here, metal mold from Hyaku parts, and 2.5 millimeters, this thing. This guy does it by hand all himself, makes his own parts, and much smaller than this. This is huge compared to some of his other parts that he makes. And I'll tell you what, it's very interesting, some of the parts that are on there. And mind you, I have to spend a little bit more time perusing the website, but man, it's pretty crazy when you really think about it. So good stuff. Thank you for sending that to me, Kelvin. I really appreciate that, buddy. Let's see. We got Mr. Pete Almanax. What's going on, buddy? He says, good afternoon, legends. What's going on, bud? And then we got Mikey Dawson. He says, hello, everyone. Mikey, how you feeling, buddy? You burnt out yet? I know Mikey's had a hell of a work week already, and it's only Wednesday. So... Pete says, that was more fur than I was ready for in close up. It's just my arm, dude. Like, it's not that hairy. I really am not. It's just on screen. Ooh, yeah. It makes me look like freaking caveman. All right. So, with that being said and my fur out of the way, let's get working. Let's get cracking here, kids. All right, so we've got to clean up because I was unfortunately remiss in my duties of doing that. There are molded in details on this thing from Bandai, which I absolutely hate and loathe. So I, make them myself. We got one here, two down here, one here, and one here. Now there should be another one on this side, but it never came through on the molding process. So, good on us. That saves us a bit of time. And then we got a mold line here that's really prominent that we got to fix. So, let's do this real quick. I already filled this with super glue, so we're basically just shaving the dome off of this thing and then sanding it down flush, making it look good. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Hang on. Fucking hell. Woo. Hello now. Mikey says, if one is always burnt out, one can never be burnt out. That's interesting. That's interesting. Pandemonious, bless you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, man. So, all right. But yeah, these, I just filled these in with super glue. Pretty simple stuff. As I don't like most of Bandai's attempts at, pre-molding detail into their models. But, you know, hey, small price to pay, I guess, right? Small price to pay. Can't imagine what I'll do when I dig into one of these like Chinese kits that have all the detail molded in. Probably need to buy stock in super glue companies at that point, because man, I am going to be just going through it. Going through it. All right. Alright. Last one here, just taking the top off the domes of super glue, like I said. Just trying to get that as flat as possible before we sand it down. There we go. All right, good deal. So now we come through with the kind of more coarse sandpaper. It's probably about a 400 or so. And just kind of rough these spots up a bit. And then along with this really pronounced, and you can see it right there, is really, really pronounced mold line here. It's kind of gnarly. I'm surprised that made it through Bandai QC, but then again, it's Bandai QC, so you have to take the good with the bad, I suppose. Alright. I'm trying to keep that edge right there, so I'm trying not to go beyond that or round it over or anything too. Let me just kind of scrape this down here. I think that surface is good. Again, I'm just trying to respect the edges here and trying to keep those as sharp as possible. Because once you round those over, if you're not careful sanding, man, it's a bit hard to get them back and more redefined at that point. There we go. That's nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. All right. Good. Good, good. All right. One last one to clean up, and then we'll clean up this ugly mold line, and then we'll get to it here. I know this is not the most exciting task, but a needed task nonetheless. All right, that looks good there. And let's just get the last little bit of this mold line surfaced down. Jolly good. All right, so just come back with a nice higher grit sandpaper just to smooth everything out, get rid of those sanding lines. Oh yeah, buttery smooth, buttery smooth. There we are. Why can't I hold this piece? Jumping out of my hands here. Alright. Looks good. Last side. Alright, there we are. Nice, clean, smooth piece. Looking really, really good. Alright. Now, let's get its twin in here so we can reference that. So there we are. Right there. Perfect. All right. So, let's see. That was probably, I'm guessing, 2mm, my standard go-to for the kind of rim panel line detail here. Let me find my 2mm. There it is. Box the rest of them. Let's make sure. Yep, 2mm it is. All right, so basically what we're going to be doing here with this piece, right around the sides here and at the bottom, we're going to be putting in a 2mm outline right around the edge. So basically an edge, border panel line there. Same thing with the top. You can see there, 2mm wrapped all the way around, except right there on the top, we're going to be adding, those trapezoidal details there here in a moment. But first things first, we got to get the sides done here. So let's make some marks first so we kind of know where to stop with this thing, because we need to make a panel line right down here. And right about there. Is that parallel? Yeah, that looks good. Same thing on this side here. Looks good. All right, and now we're just going to wrap this thing around here. So there we are. All right, let's do a little bit of measuring so we know where to put these, trapezoidal shapes here. What is that? 2 millimeters off to the side. Yep, 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters seems to be my go-to measurement for a lot of these details. I think it's just a nice in-between, just a nice in-between measurement. And it just, I don't know, just looks really, really good. All right, so right there and right there, that's the start of the incline for these. Yeah, really good. Really, Jesus Christ. All right, good deal there. Let's do the same thing. Make our marks all the way around for the top. Actually, we can just make the top, or the top part mark. We don't need to go through the whole side because it's just going to be a straight line. All right, and then I believe same thing applies up here, right? Yeah. Okay. See if my measurements are correct there. 2 mil. 2 mil on the money. Sweet. Sweet, 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 sweet. Okie dokie. So now we use the 2 mil scribing jig for what it's meant for at this point. Let's see. Let's get caught up just real quick. There's a little chit chat going on here. There's Brandon. How was everyone today? What's going on, B? Good to see you, buddy. Mikey says, I actually pulled a muscle in my lower right back yesterday by crouching down, of all things. Oh, dude, that sucks, man. Yeah, you just got to be careful with that, dude. So, Renee, my fiance, she actually had bent the wrong way back, oh man, a couple years ago, and she pinched a nerve in her lower back. She was picking up her laptop out of her backpack, of all things, right? She pinched a nerve, and I forget what it was, sciatica, something like that, and it caused that. And I will tell you what, she has never been in more pain in her life than that bout of sciatica that was caused by that pinched nerve. It was excruciating for her. Like, she was honestly bedridden in pain for, I think, probably 2 weeks. And luckily enough for her, she lived like literally 5 minutes from my door, walking, right? And I'll tell you what, I had to wait on her for those 2 weeks, basically hand and foot. It was wild. So, dude, be very careful, man. Be very, very careful. Oh, just saw this. Coco Jam 74 just started following over there on Twitch. What's going on? Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Welcome to the family, by the way. Good deal. Good deal. For some reason, the follows do not come through, and it just, I gotta fix that, but I've been remiss in doing so. So sorry about that, but thank you for following, sir, ma'am, whichever. It's mostly dudes. Let's be honest here. Come on. It's mostly dudes watching. Let's see. Pandemonious, do you do 2 millimeter for most of the scribing and master grades? Let's put it this way. It is a very, very common measurement when I am scribing, yes. It's not a universal thing, but it's a nice round number. It's one I gravitate toward. For most master grades, it's a good, it's a good measurement. I mean, that right there, that looks really, really good, in my opinion. You know, that will produce, you know, some really solid looking, aesthetically pleasing panel lines, as evidenced by this. So it's a very common measurement, let's put it that way. So yeah, I tend to gravitate toward it. So all right, let's start with the top first, because this is the easiest part, honestly. All right. Simple stuff there, just a straight line. Wrap this over the bevel here. Make sure those lines are connected properly. We'll do the same thing to the other side here first before we jump into the top. I just want these lines to match up properly. Good. All right, so now we jump into the top here, and hey, look at that! It's Julius. What's going on, Jay? Good to see you, buddy. You fully recovered from your trip to Australia yet? Jet lag and all? Julius just came back from Australia on Monday, and yeah, I think the jet lag, just the 30 hours of travel. Whew. Because US to Australia, man, that is no short trip. Okay. Good deal there. All right, so now what I need to do, we need to pull out the 3mm scribing jig here, because we are, that line is 1mm higher. You know, the top of the trapezoid is 1mm higher than the base panel line. So for this, I want to get the 3mm out here and just mark a line across there, so we have that for reference. Now, the other thing that I want to do is get my 45-degree scribing jigs out here, because we're going to utilize these to get that, you know, the diagonals. And let's see, are these my 2mm? Yep, there's my pair of 2mm. All right, and they, you know, when you get these from Colin, they come in pairs, right and left, right? So there you go, 2mm. Well, 2mm. All right, well, that's, shit, both of them are backwards now. God damn it. So there you go, 2mm, right? But yeah, left and right. So good deal. All right, so with that, let's start getting our diagonals in here. Now, the most important thing here, and Colin's prints are very clean, very, very clean. but sometimes the corners can be a bit fuzzy. Not on all of them, but some of them I find that the corners need sharpening up here a little bit, so it's not a problem. I mean, that's part of the process, the manufacturing process. They're all still very, very highly accurate. And if you don't know who Colin is Mr. High Craig, who produces these scribing jigs, friend of the show, and great guy. He has his online store. I did link that in the community section for those of you wondering how to acquire these. So go to his shop and definitely patronize his shop, because Colin's a good dude, man. Very skilled builder too. All right there. We're just going to set that line here first. We're not going to do much else right now with that, because we're going to need to connect all this here in just a moment. Let me just see something here. Okay. Hang tight just a second, kids. Let me compare and contrast here. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'm just making sure we got the right measurements and everything. I think my eye's playing tricks on me or something here. Hang on. Let me just measure this one more time, just to make sure here. Okay. Good there. All right, so now get our 3 mil in here, make this straight connection. Right across the top. Yep, that's looking good. All right, so now we get to deepening. Bringing these lines to depth. Making sure all corners are looking good. go. Now, let's, where's the, is that the, no, that's the more coarse sandpaper. Where's the smooth, where's the little piece of sandpaper that I use to smooth things out? Oh, shit. I guess I lost it. Damn it. Man. Oh, bother. Shit. I lost my little piece of smoothing sandpaper. No, that is unfortunate, because... Anyway, we'll use the more coarse stuff here, just to... Here we are. Yeah. All right. Oh, shit. Be good if I was actually on the frickin' camera, wouldn't it? There we are. Let's see. Oh, we just had it right. You can kind of see it there. It's shit plastic, I swear to God. Jesus. Anyway, I don't know. Still kind of... Oh, there it is. Damn it. How many times... Okay, somebody's got to start a counter on how many times I dropped this piece. I think if the Scuffles were here, he'd be the one, but he's probably entertaining some VPs or managers or some crap like that. Alright, there we go. There we go. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. It's just a little pencil line there, nothing major. Alright, very nice. Alright, so that's the first line that we got down. Let's get caught up here real quick, yeah? Let's see. Brian, Mr. Lelouch, what's going on, buddy? He says hello, everyone. Let's see, Almanac says the secret is traveling at the right times. When leaving EU for Japan, I always leave early AM. When going back from Japan to the EU, I always leave late PM, traveling aligned to the date line. Yeah, that makes total sense. That makes total sense. Pandemonium says I do the same, Almanacs. Every time I go to Japan, I do the same thing. Nice. Saku186 is with us. What's going on, buddy? Why is the part sort of transparent? This is what it looks like underneath of the gold plating for the Shiki 2.0. So I stripped the gold off of this so I can paint it. And yeah, this is the base plastic. So yeah. Let's see. Pandemonia says it's the Hyaku Shiki 2.0 who has a special coating. He just stripped off the whole thing to customize. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Brandon echoed that. Stripped off the metallic plating that was on this kit, so it left the translucent base plastic. There you go. Beat him to it, right? Almanacs, Mr. Pete says all the major pieces are semi-transparent on this model, I believe, just part of the design. Yeah, I mean, it's what it comes down to is it's a base. This is the base color of the polystyrene beads that Bandai feeds into their molding units and everything. So, yeah, it's kind of it's kind of like a ghosty, milky white. Transparent-ish color, and then they obviously add, color, colored beads to the mix to get your, more opaque plastic. Because yeah, I mean, believe it or not, this is made up of this, but just with a few beads of, navy blue and then red, obviously. But yeah, that's the base color of their polystyrene. So yeah. Zaku186 says, "Oh, okay. I didn't know it was transparent underneath." Yeah, and, and it's funny because I get that question a lot through working on this thing and posting in different places. They're like, "Wait a minute, is this like a P Bandai, like a special clear unit or something like that?" Nope, that's just what the base model looks like underneath. Yeah. Pete says, "I was beaten a lot by everyone." Brandon says, "I think you need a little light you can put under the clear parts. It should show the scribed lines a little better being lit underneath." Yeah. Who said that? Bill said that when we tried that, and it just didn't really do anything productive, unfortunately. So yeah. Michael says, "Be a good drinking game. Everyone takes a drink every time Chim drops a part." Oh God, no. I would kill off my audience in probably 2 streams. Yeah, there would be a fucking epidemic around the world. People going into hospitals to have their stomachs pumped and everything. That would be bad. That would be very bad. Zaku186 says, "How would you..." Oh, this is a question.
We have a question.
He says, "How would you panel line the Hyaku Shiki 2.0 without damaging the plating? I'm not going to repaint it, mind you, but I definitely want to do panel lines and stuff." Same way you would probably with anything. I don't think that the plating... the plating seems strong enough to take panel lining fluid, from Tamiya and everything. So, mind you, I would probably test it on, let's go back to camera 2 here real quick so I can show you real. So what I would do for testing and everything, this is called the flag on the runner, right? Obviously it gives you your runner number, gives you your model information about where it came from and all of that. Yeah, I would test it on something like this to see that if it has any ill effects on that coating, because this will all be coated and everything there too. So, but yeah, that's what I would do. Ooh! I just noticed that's a nice little piece right there. Look at that conical shape. It's got those little ridges marked out of it. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I'm gonna have to save that. Use that for something. Ooh, that's another one too. Whoa, look at that. This is the master grade unicorn rifle runner that our good friend Mr. Greg Blair sent me back in the day. Finally figured out who it was from, but yeah, just noticed those 2 parts, and those are kind of sexy. Anyway, moving on. And 186 wants to know, and how did you strip the plating? Another good question.
We have a question.
It's a twofer. I showed this, I think, yesterday to some of the Twitch kiddos, but let me show you on camera 1. This right here. This is the magic stuff. This is Zep Fast 505. Now, if you're in the States, you can get this at Home Depot. If not, just go to your, local big box, hardware store, and look for like an industrial strength degreaser. And that's the important part. That is the absolute crucial piece, that it has to be a degreaser. And then that, put that into, a plastic container, put the runners in it, let it sit for 7-8 hours. I did a time lapse back in the day. I think it was like 7-ish hours. But a little more can't hurt. And then obviously what's going to happen is that the gold plating will get eaten off of there. But as you can see by the model that we've been working on, it has no effect on the plastic itself. So really, really good stuff. Very, very easy to do. It seems daunting, obviously, because the Shiki is an expensive model. I think its base price is what, $70 US, about there. So yeah, not an inexpensive model. Let's go back to Super Zoom. Yeah, easy process though. Easy process. Let's see. Brandon says that's a tough one. Clear coats might dull the shine. You can make your own acrylic panel liner so it's not solvent based. I mean, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Brandon says, great minds think alike. Kind of scary. I said, Bill has a great mind. Aw, come on now. Come on now. But, yeah, I mean, you could do exactly what Brandon said here, too. Kind of make a, like an acrylic wash. India ink also is a great panel lining fluid. They actually make some like watercolor, pre-mixed watercolor paints that I've tried in the past that actually worked half decent. Yeah, those are all options there too. The Tamiya panel liner, obviously that's a, tried and true method, tested on one of the runners on the flags and everything, and see what that does to it. It can't hurt to test at very least, before you, obviously before you commit it to the actual model. But yeah, just try different stuff. We didn't do anything productive, Tim, 2026. Yeah, I say that a lot, don't I? 186 says, okay, I'll experiment on the flag. Hopefully enamel works. Yeah. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. He says, yeah, I just put an LED in the head of my master grade Barbatos Lupus. BG master grade Barbatos Lupus, and it's a $80 kit, and I was nervous. Yeah. I mean, obviously you don't want to waste your money. That's a big thing. These models aren't cheap, so yeah. Best practice is to test everything. Testing. 1, 2, 3. All right. So for this, I am going to kind of use the scribing jig in a bit of a non-traditional way, right? Because this part here is nice and flat, and this looks to be a right angle to this. To get a better hold on this thing, rather than trying to, balance it on this very, very small, almost rounded, part here, I'm going to put the scribing jig on, affix it to this side here, and then use the overhang side because it's nice and straight, and we're going to use that to scribe our panel line here. Okay. All right, good deal there. Now we'll go back to our 2mm, use it more traditionally here to scribe. There we go. About to make you guys drink again. good, very good. That met up at the corner there really nice. Oh, oh, I hear. Uh-oh. All right, kids. We're going to go back to camera 1. I hear an Amber sighting. Amber's not making a sighting? What is Amber doing? Oh, Amber. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, is Simon here? Almost. Okay. What's that? Oh, okay. It's getting warm outside. Amber's not going to make an appearance. Anyway. Let's go. Huh? Oh, she says hi, everybody. Oh, I hear. Is Simon here? Hi, Simon.
How was your gym?
How are you?
I'm good. You know, I asked Amber, I was like, was there someone streaming tonight? And she was like, no, I think it's streaming.
Do you want to say hi to everybody?
Oh, where's my phone?
Right there.
Hi, live stream.
That's Simon. Brandon wants to know, have you started any of the models yet? Obviously, no, not yet. So.
I've been waiting.
Yeah.
I've been wishing.
Waiting and wishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to drop Amber just to make the model.
Wow. Wow. Simon's gonna hang down here with us while Amber's hanging upstairs, just waiting patiently upstairs, and we're gonna build models, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Actually, it did not come for you or to celebrate 4 months being together. I came for the model.
Right.
Really.
Right. So they've been dating for 4 months, and this is their 4-month or month anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, aww. All right. You kids have fun. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Anyway, no Amber sighting, but we had a Simon sighting. Very exciting. Very exciting. So, but yeah, Simon, it's a whole kind of somewhat dramatic thing, but he had to leave his models here for now. But he'll be able to take those home soon and, work on them and everything. So, the kid walks in with a stack of models and all that, and how's he going to explain that? So, it's one of, yeah, it's a whole backstory. But anyway, good kid, really good kid. Let's see. Brandon says, just had bad luck with Tamiya panel liner, messing up my first real grade I ever did. Didn't clear it beforehand, and it crumbled over time. I clear my kits very lightly now, before I panel line, which is always good practice, right? Which, again, I would always suggest. The one caveat, obviously, with the Shiki being a metallic coating, sometimes, it could potentially get that messed up. But, the sheen, right? So, yeah. Zaku says, yeah, BG was supposed to be master grade, my bad. I got a long, narrow phone, so I make typos a lot. It's all good. A lot of people do it, and I can usually decipher chat, so yeah. But he says, yeah, I made that mistake on my real grade God Gundam. Not gonna lie, I've totally forgot you can't use enamel on bare plastic, and it broke several parts. I mean, you can, but you have to be very, very careful with it. Very careful. I would normally suggest against it, but with the Shiki, yeah, just don't let it pool. Clean it up rather quickly. and all that. But yeah, the coating is going to protect the plastic because the coating is all over it, right? So that does leave a layer of protection inherently with the Shiki. So there, at least you got that going for you. But he says, I've been building Gundams since I was a kid. Nice. He says, I was just excited and wanted to build it immediately and wasn't thinking. It happens to all of us, right? Brandon said, yeah, it was my second kit ever. I was very upset when it literally cracked and fell apart. It became so brittle. Yeah, been there, done that. I think that's kind of like a rite of passage in this hobby. You gotta completely mess up at least one model. I think once you get past that, just utter disappointment, it becomes a lot easier with things. So, yeah. Everybody's saying hi, Simon. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Such a good kid. He's such a good kid. He says, huh? Bill, what's going on, Bill? Huh? What's up? I just woke up. Y'all talk about me? Yeah, a little bit. Were your ears ringing? Because Brandon made the suggestion of the light underneath of the clear part to try and show the panel lines, and we did that, but it just blew everything out. So, yeah. Mikey says, gotta head out later, everyone. Mikey, take care, buddy. Take care. Don't work too hard, man. Brandon says, I gotta take off as well. Back to the grind. Awesome. Brandon, thank you, buddy. And then Pandemonium says, regarding the panel line, I would suggest that if you're not going to clear coat beforehand, panel line at the runner, not pooling, and let it evaporate before building. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Good. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so we had our Simon sighting. Let's get back to it. Let's go back to Super Zoom. Here we go. What time is it? 1:12. Sweet. Sweet. All right, good time. All right, let's get back at it. So far, so good. We need to wrap this line around the bevel here. And the bevel on this particular part is very, very pronounced. It's about probably 1.5 millimeter wide. So, yeah, that is a hefty bevel. As bevels go. All right. Good deal there. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to flip our scribing jig on its side here and use the down edge as our guide. If we can hold on to this piece. This piece is very awkward to try and hold in your hand. It's not it's an irregular shape, and I'll tell you what, it's not easy. Okay. Just lightly set that edge, and now we can kind of go back and in a little bit of a better holding position, and we can get after it. All right, there we go. Now, get back to the traditional use of these things. the directionality of this plastic is starting to kick in here. There we go, though. We got it. For those of you that don't understand what directionality means when I said that, just like, you know, wood has a directionality, like the wood grain and everything, plastics can sometimes have directionality as well. And I find it is fairly predominant with this particular plastic here, this, you know, semi-transparent base plastic. You know, you scribe it in one way and it's smooth as butter. You turn it around, scribe it in the opposite direction, and it stair steps and skips when you try to scribe it. So that's kind of, you know, what I'm referring to when I say the directionality of it. Now, mind you, I find most Bandai models, you know, the opaque stuff, similar to, you know, the shield insert here, the directionality hardly comes up at all. But with this particular model and this particular plastic, it feels pretty prominent to me. Just scribing through lines and notches and all of that. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm being honest. Because you're never 100% sure if you're getting a nice smooth line. Alright, good there. Let's get our last straight line. Good. Spin that around, get that to a decent depth. There we go. All right, so we got that there. All right, let's get our 3 mil out here, mark our top line for this. You know what? I'm actually going to score a very, very light line with the back side of my hobby knife. That'll sand out, but it'll be a lot more accurate of a mark instead of you know, the good old pencil here. The pencil has a bit of error that you know, we always need to take in consideration because of the thickness of the lead, the offset distance from the scribing jig itself. It all comes into play. It all comes into play. Right about there. Oh, Bill, one thing that I wanted to mention, man, that freaking Dom that you're working on is really, really looking nice. For those of you that are not aware, Bill in the chat is working on a custom master grade Dom, and he posted some progress shots in the Chata Mecha community on YouTube over here, and man, it's looking nice. He made this crazy custom collar for the Dom, and it looks like scaffolding, and it wraps around the back of the Dom, you know, the Dom's head and everything. And I'll tell you what, I just freaking love the look of it. It is just sinister looking, and yeah, dude, I'm loving the direction of it. Like, if I ever did a Dom, I'd probably want to go in the same direction, if I'm being honest. It is, yeah, it's pretty freaking dope. So, good shit, man. Good shit all the way around. Alright, so, connect these two diagonals. Okay, that I think should just about do it. Good. All right, let's get this thing sanded down here. Get the edges nice and smooth. Get the pencil lead gone, so we can kind of see a better representation of what this actually looks like here. Very nice. Yeah, and that little mark that I made with the back side of the hobby knife, it sanded right out, so jolly good. Okie doke. So I left the panel dust in there, so it could be a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah. That looks really, really good. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Chisel discipline. Let's get caught up here real quick in a little bit of chat. Let's see, 186, need to get back to work as well. Was fun hanging out. See you guys. 186, take care, buddy. Take care, man. Bill says, to be fair, Letterkenny. To be fair on that issue, the various colors of plastic from Bandai all have subtly different feels like density. It is pretty funny how much difference the chemicals used to change color can make. Yeah, right? big time. Pandemonius says, where can I get those plastic templates that shipped in Mexico? It's so hard to get stuff down here. That is going to be Mr. High Craig. I assume you're talking about these guys here. That is going to be Mr. High Craig, Mr. Collins' shop here. Let me get a link here for you, dude, and I will post it in the chat. He ships all over the place because he's in Canada, so I don't think he would have a big problem shipping to Mexico at that point. Let me get the link from the community here. Hang tight one moment. Let's see. There it is. Oh, come on. Just copy the frickin' link. There it is. Go back here. And here. And boom. Alright, incoming. Maybe. There it is. Oh, no. Did it just go through to Twitch? What's up with that? Boo. Alright. Let me manually post it here, and there it is. Alright. Good deal. So yeah, you can also show me what you bought, but he's going out of business, so I don't know how that's gonna work. It'd probably be better off just buying directly from Colin at his High Craig Store Envy store. Because yeah, like I said, show me what you bought. From what I understand, is going out of business, unfortunately. So that's not a great prospect, unfortunately. So Bill says you can see it even just sanding or using nippers on them. Shoot, I think pure white gates on parts tend to be thicker than any other color. Interesting. I'll have to take a look at that. It depends, I think, it depends on the gate, you know what I mean? Because some gates are thicker than others. Some gates are a lot thicker than others. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that next time that I snap something together. Interesting. You're welcome, Bill. Like I said, that Dom is looking just outstanding. He says, got your question of the day ready for tonight's stream? I do. I've been thinking about that a lot, actually. And yeah, I got something good for tonight. Yeah. Dust makes it stand out great, right? And I should have been doing that from the beginning, let's be real. But I didn't think about that. Pandemonious, thank you, Tim. You're welcome, buddy. Let's see. Bill says, oh, always sad to hear another closing. Yeah, I know, right? It's fucking, economies and everything. It sucks right now. Everywhere. It sucks. Let me get on my high horse here just for a moment, just to give you a clear indication of prices now, right? So, I think we're all familiar with Hershey's chocolate. No matter where you are in the world, I think, Hershey's is a large enough company to be at least known about, right? Here in the States, obviously, it's a staple candy, maker. And so I was in my local grocery store 2 days ago, and turning a corner, and they have a display for s'mores, right? The ingredients for s'mores, and I mean, come on, who doesn't love a good s'mores, right? But they had your graham cracker, they had your marshmallow, and they had your Hershey's chocolate bars, right? To be fair, I fucking love that skit from Letterkenny. Anyway, but yeah, so I turned the corner, they had the s'mores and everything, and the chocolate obviously is, one of the big three components. And for the Hershey bars, they sell them in packs of 6, the full-sized Hershey bars. my local store wanted over $10. $10 for 6 Hershey bars. I'll tell you what, man. Chocolate especially has gone through the roof. You know, for one reason or another. It has been hit very, very hard. More so than I think a lot of other products, unfortunately. So yeah, the price of especially chocolate is gone through the freaking roof. I was just like, at first I thought it was a typo, right? I'm like, oh man, they got that sign, you know, messed up. And then went down the aisle with the candy in it. You know, had other things that I was looking for, but you know, I was just like, oh, here's the candy. Let me just double check that price because that seemed weird. Nope, $10 fucking dollars. $10 fucking dollars. I was just like, you got to be kidding me, man. I know what I'm not buying for a good long time. So yeah, it's just crazy, just crazy. And that's like, mind you, that's like an extreme example, but still a good one. Oh, anyway, Super Zoom. To be fair. I love that shit, man. Oh. And mind you, you guys, if you guys have not seen the show Letterkenny, I highly, highly recommend it. If you kind of enjoy, you know, somewhat dry, repetitive sense of humors, it is so good. It is very, very Canadian. It is, yeah, it's really funny. Really, really good. I've watched the whole series. I think, what is it, 13 seasons? And mind you, they're not like your normal, you know, it's not like your normal season. I think it's like, what, maybe 8 episodes, I think, per season? Something like that. 6 or 8 episodes. And they're only like half an hour, if that, you know, when you factor in commercial breaks and everything. So, very short time investment per season. It's just so good. It's just so good. Let's see. Bill says chocolate is more expensive for 2 main reasons. Importing from South America, yeah. Tariffs. And field workers all leaving to migrate to the U.S. Yeah. Well. And, you know, obviously, you know, you can throw in, you know, fuel expenses, shipping, you know, all of that stuff. Cost of manufacturing just is crazy. It's just crazy. And rewatching one of George Old School Gunplay, I saw Pete Almanax is in manufacturing as well. Pete, I mean, do you find that as well, that the, you know, prices have just kind of gotten silly in terms of pretty much everything, through one reason or another, just kind of a full mix of shit, you know, causing prices to go up. I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm just conversation more than anything, but yeah, it's just nutty, man. It's fucking nutty, and not in the candy sense nutty. All right, so with that, what we need to do next is this nice thick bisecting line right down the middle here. Now, let's see. Let's get, where's the ruler? Here it is. Now, one thing that Bandai, in its frickin' glory, did was it made a middle notch here that we can still barely see. Right there, right? That's the outside borders of that particular notch that we filled in already. But it centers that very, very nicely, right? And then if we go across this line and we measure That's about 10 millimeter. Yeah, about 10 millimeter. So that makes it, you know, fairly easy to make our mark here. Just need to get this held in place. Ah. Okay. Get this guy in here. There we go. If you guys didn't see this the other day, I showed the little magic arm that I got from Amazon, and it helps a lot, especially in this type of scenario here. Alright, let's see. Right about, oh, don't move. Right about there. Let's see. Right there. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Okie dokie. So now what we got to do is kind of make some teeny tiny marks here to allow us to find true center. The top part is a lot easier simply because of the notch that we already had in place there. But this side, a little bit more tricky because there's no clear guide to kind of go off of here. So that's kind of another important reason why we need to kind of mark that with the chisel itself so we know where to place our guide tape, right? Now, I want a thicker piece of Dymo. So let me get this cut here on the chopper. Bear with me 1 second here, kids. Oh, I just hit my knee. Oh, I just hit my knee. That hurt. That hurt. Damn it. Son of a bitch. Ooh. Frickin' hell. Right on one of the drawer pulls. Shit. Oh, man. That's going to leave a bruise. Oh, Christ sakes. Anyway. Alright. So that... just like that should be good. We don't need this whole thickness of tape, right? So we're gonna cut this down. We're gonna make what, about a 4 millimeter strip? I think that works pretty good. 4. Where are you? There you are. 4 millimeter strip. And oh man, my fucking knee still hurts like shit. Oh, damn. Almanacs, have you watched the spin-off Shorzy 2? Oh my god, yes. Shorzy is honestly one of my favorite shows. I love that. Wasn't, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't too enthused with season 4. But 1 through 3 is great. Especially 3 with the kids that they mentor. Oh my god. Helicopter. Say it with more of an H. Helicopter. Helicopter. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, Shorzy is great. I freaking love Shorzy. So, yeah. I can't wait till it gets back to season 5. And hopefully, you know, we kind of have a bit more, I don't know, closer to home storyline than that. I think they jumped the shark a little bit on season 4, but that's okay. Every show has weak seasons. But yeah. Oh man, my fucking knee is throbbing now. Son of a bitch. Bill's like, you want to be a problem? Fine, take this. Boom. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it hurts. Is Shorzy a show starring Pauly Shore? Thankfully, no. Let's see. Almanax says, we made a concerted effort to pitch to local suppliers, nice, for all of our production facilities when we saw the price increases during COVID. So we're mostly using price stable with some noted exceptions. Wow, that's cool. I mean, that obviously very forethinking, I guess, better term to use. But man, yeah, that's good prep. He says that's still are only economically viable to bulk order from Canada. Yeah, or for China. Fuck, why do I say I have Canada on the brain, but you know, thinking about Shorzy and fucking Letterkenny, but I meant to say China. Yeah, I mean, obviously, with China's manufacturing, China is a manufacturing juggernaut, especially with prices and access to materials and things like that. So, I mean, I can only imagine. So, yeah, in a lot of instances, there's no choice other, than to buy, parts and materials, goods from China at that point. So, yeah, they have, like I said, they have made a juggernaut of a manufacturing process over there. I'm the juggernaut, bitch. Oh, God, I'm old for saying that. It's okay. Alright. So, placing the tape here right on the edge of those marks that we made with the 1mm. And that's looking pretty good. Let me see something here. Good. I'm just kind of mocking up. Yeah, all right. That looks nice and centered. So, just as long as the tape doesn't shift, we'll be in good shape. But, yeah, just press that down. All right, so... Again, this is nice, a nice big 1mm bisecting line here. Now, with going with, a bigger chisel like this, getting your line set is even more important. Because the bigger the chisel, the higher tendency of skip and jumping out of the line and jumping off the tape. There's a higher chance of that happening. So, getting your line set is, like I said, even more crucial than with a thinner chisel than this. There we go. All right. That looks really good. We've got the edges set. We're getting to depth. That's looking nice. Let's do the same thing here on the other side. I'm going to go at it from this direction so we can eliminate those marks that we made. Debris out of there. All right. Now see all the debris here at the end. See how that's starting to form kind of a almost like a slope there. That is a ramp. And what can happen if you're not very, very careful, your chisel will ride right up that ramp, jump out of the line, and you'll scar the plastic. And that's why I always say it's really, really good practice to clean that debris out of there every few passes. Yeah, because it builds up very quickly, as you can see. But yeah, get it out of there. Get it out of there. Okay, we got those now set and a little to depth. I'm going to remove the tape itself, and we're going to go kind of back and attack this thing and get this to a really, really nice depth that we're happy with, and that's kind of more in line with our panel lines. Okay. Now, another thing that you're going to run into, because of the direction that I was going with the chisel, when I was going in this direction against the panel line, the debris built up a natural stopping point for my chisel. So now there's a small kind of slope right here up against the panel line that we have to address, because it's not even with the rest of the depth of the panel line. So for that, we're just gonna kind of go at this thing. We're gonna flip the chisel around and just kind of push and try to gently remove and even out that slope there. And be very, very careful doing something like this, because you can destroy your nice crisp corners and edges and everything like that trying to do something like this. But if you do it right, it'll even out and everything will still stay nice and sharp. And I think we got it. Yeah, we got it. Cool. Alright, that is about the same depth as our panel lines. So I'm going to stop there for this side. And then I'm going to go at the opposite side here. I'm actually going to turn this around because I feel like this side of the line is a bit higher and a little less defined. So There we go. Now we're getting it. But again, get that debris out of there. Good stuff. Okay. All right, time check. 1:51. Excellent. Okay. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Trying to get this slope out of here. For some reason it is not wanting to cooperate. There it goes. Good, good, good. All right, so we've got our bisecting, nice thick bisecting line in there, right? So that's looking good. Now, what we need to do is wrap this around to the inner edge of this opening, right? As you can see there, it's yeah, nicely wrapped around there. You can see those notches taken out of the plastic and all. So for that, we're just going to kind of push into the plastic, wrap this over, and just take that, take little shavings of material off here. All right, that looks good. Very nice. Do the same thing on the other side. Good, good, good. We're almost there. Yeah. Yep. All right, cool. Very, very nice. Very nice. We got those you know, notches taken out. We got that big bisecting line wrapped over there. Now, the next little thing that we'll wrap up with this are just the little perpendicular notches that I added here to the main piece. And you can kind of see there's two on that line right. There's one right up here, and then there's one down there. And I think it's only one up at the top. Yeah, it's just one up at the top here. Let's see, where is the light? There it is, right there. Right there. So 3 on each side, nothing on the top, and that's it. So pretty easy stuff there. Let's get that taken care of real quick, and then we'll punch the clock for today's stream, and then we'll be back on tonight. Get the question of the day, continue Wu-Tang Wednesday, because that's important. All right. Now it's on the bottom. Yeah, okay. All right, so there's that one. There's that one. And the 2 on the bottom here. Looking at my spacing. Good. Very nice. All right, 2 more to go. And we're done with this piece. All right, good there. And good there. All right, sweet. Got this whole piece done in one stream. I like it. I like it. All right, let's compare and contrast. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Very matchy-matchy. Those lines match up real nice. Notches match up real nice. So there we go. Excellent. So then we can put this guy back on there. And then the twin. Is that? Yeah, there we go. And there we go. We've got hand, cuff, and forearm armor all done. We are going to flip it around tonight. Probably mostly do talking on the night stream. Yeah, and but hopefully we can get these little plates done there on these 2 parts, and outline those, a couple notches on each side, and really that's it. And then maybe move on to the tricep armor, which is very, very simplistic. It's one line all the way around and a parallel notch. So couldn't be any simpler than that, honestly. So, but these are coming together really, really nicely. Really nicely. So very, very happy with it. Let's go back camera one. And there we go. Let's get caught up here real quick before we punch the clock here. Pandemonious, gotta go, fellas. Enjoyed watching your work, Tim. Thank you. Always, always. Let's see. Bill says pushing into a ramp if you are not careful can cause the sharp chisel to jump that ramp, and then you run the risk of stabbing yourself. That is very true. Very, very true. Which you kind of, it's almost like counterintuitive, right? Because you want the sharp chisel, so it will be easier to cut into that slope, right? And you know, we're talking very, very small amount of plastic, but still it's delicate, right? Very delicate. So Warren G Wednesday. Nah, bro, it's Wu-Tang Wednesday. Let's go. Wu-Tang Wednesday. It's for the children. Chisel discipline. Anyway, all right, you guys. That's where we're gonna cut it today. Come on back tonight. I got an interesting question of the day planned for tonight's stream. And again, if the night stream continues on, you know, as it has, it'll be more talking and question answering and just kind of hanging out and having fun. So come on back tonight, hang out with us, ask some questions, answer the question of the day, because I'm very interested in seeing what the response is for the question for tonight. And yeah, we'll just have a lot of good fun. So until then, man, enjoy the rest of your day. Go build something cool. Be safe out there, you guys. And I will see you later. Here come the end credits. See you, boys.